Today we need to get into people talking about V possibly kissing and why this was coming up. We also need to get into allegedly V at the bar, and then people saying that he is dating and what that is about. And then we have V breaking a rule in a group chat and what that is about. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave. Decide hater or not, make sure you subscribe with the notification bell on. Make sure you join us fangirling on Patreon, and let's get into it. The first story that we need to talk about is absolutely hilarious, and apparently V broke a rule recently while he was in a group chat. This story happened a little while ago but was being recirculated again recently, and people found it absolutely hilarious because they remembered this time and how V was absolutely sweating. So what happened and what is going on? I think a lot of times people like to hear about celebrities going undercover and pretending to be fans and kind of just snooping around. I think there's a lot of appeal to this, right? Like, does the celebrity actually know what is going on in the fandom, and what are their reactions going to be if they decide to join in and be a part of it? Well, V has done this a couple of times, and I think some of the other members have also been involved in keeping their pulse on what is going on within the community. I believe not too long ago, V did this with a video game where he pretended to be a fan and then talked to someone. Other times have included him not really going undercover, but him just like playing with Army, where I think there was like a game that was kind of like Among Us where he did that. However, one of the more recent ones was when he decided to lurk within the community and he joined an open fan chat room. Now, what is the point of this chat room? I'm not entirely sure. And where to even find this chat room? Not entirely sure either. However, the idea that someone can create a chat room, it gets popular, and then suddenly one of the BTS member joins, I think that's very appealing to people who joined the fandom. Now, apparently there were some rules within this chat room. Apparently you can't use text to talk. It's only photos or GIFs that are allowed to be sent through. I also like to note here that I think the fandom has a lot of rules for people who join, and I understand that because these rules are built over time. So it's likely they see something that isn't great, they make it a rule, they say don't do this, and then those things are built for years and years until there was like maybe 300 rules that only people who are active within the chat room or active in the fandom would probably even remember. Anyone new obviously would have a very hard time knowing these rules. I definitely want to talk about this story to specifically highlight that because I think a lot of people who join the fandom from this point onward or even join it recently find it hard to kind of get accustomed to all of the rules and all the things that armies need to do because there's just so much to keep up with and remember. I'm sure people who are even a part of the fan sites and fan clubs aren't even fully aware of every single rule. Always, of course, this means if V decides to join the fan chat rooms one day, he's not going to get all of those rules. Well, when he joined the chat room, he ended up chatting with words in there and got schooled immediately with people saying that he should not have done that and sort of yelling at him and kind of banning him. It was also funny because V had his real name in the chat, and a lot of people were asking him to change the name of the chat and to not impersonate V. However, he was actually V. He ended up apologizing and saying he was also confused and he didn't know what was going on, and if he is ending up apologizing and being confused for something like this and the chat is for him, then it's confusing to people, and they need to realize that sometimes the rules are a bit confusing. Apparently, in order to not fully get kicked out, he ended up sending a voice note with his voice and then ended up saying that he will be posting on Twitter something to prove that he was actually in the group chat, and he did. Now, people can say whatever they want about V, but he is always so devoted to the fandom. Even if he does break a few rules here and there, he always shows his love and appreciation towards all of us. Of course, whatever he ends up doing, whether that is music or whatever it may be, he has our full support. Now, everyone does believe that he might not be pursuing music after the enlistment as much, so he might be with BTS and making music with BTS, but maybe in between releases of music, he may opt to do acting. Given the amount of stuff that has come out since he's been enlisted, it seems to be a lot of acting and more appearance-based stuff rather than music. So for example, he's dealing with Composed Coffee and other brand endorsements and that sort of stuff. Also coupled with the fact that he had literally 2 TV shows before he went to enlist, and then he literally had an appearance in an IU music video. He didn't sing in that video at all, which I'm sure if he wanted to sing in an IU song, IU would have been happy to have his voice. Now, there was a scene that was going viral again where it was V and IU in a car. V is driving and IU sort of hugs and holds him a bit. And you know, this is the theme of the music video, right? But this particular moment was going viral because people were surprised that we were seeing V in a more romantic light as opposed to what we normally do, which is we don't see him in anything even slightly romantic. So people were basically saying that they think that they were going to lose it, or that they would protest or have a violent backlash if a V were to ever have a kissing scene in a car or anything like that. I think that is absolutely crazy, because I think we should support him no matter what he does. And if he chooses to do acting, he obviously will have a romantic scene. I mean, there's pretty much no movie I think that has ever existed that doesn't have a romantic scene in there. The only way it wouldn't exist would be if he's not the lead. If he ends up being a lead, which is what everyone else wants of him anyway, then he'll probably have a kissing scene. And then just imagine the death threats or the attacks that the female actor is going to get after they get a kissing scene. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that IU was already dating someone, I'm sure that she would have gotten so much backlash from just being in a romantic scene without it ever actually being a kissing scene. Because I think I was seeing some backlash here and there, and then someone was replying back to it being like, you know, IU is dating someone, right? So I don't love that. There was also a video recently where people think that it's going to result in something more romantic. So if you aren't aware, yesterday V released a video where it appeared like a vlog, and it was just a compilation of him, of his up close face, followed by a sign that says not in use, followed by V at a bar. And this is very cute because it was done in a POV where it appeared like you were dating him or on a date with him. This coupled with the fact that there apparently was some news coming out that V will be releasing a song called Friends, where the word end in Friends is in parentheses, so it sort of means friends end. Now this was interesting, and the fandom blew up with conspiracy theories on what this means, because V and Jimin have a song called Friends without the parentheses. So people were wondering if this song was supposed to be about V and Jimin's friendship. So much so that a lot of people thought that maybe the two were dating and then now are not dating anymore. So whatever the situation might be, a lot of those are just theories, as obviously they're likely not dating, and we can definitely assume that they probably don't even see much of each other lately, as they're on different divisions of the military. However, other people thought that the song might have a relation to the video that was released yesterday, meaning that there would be more romantic moments with V at a bar with a senior idol or Jimin, although Jimin is just a few months older, but still. And then of course there's a lot of theories that since V might have time off either on the weekends or whenever it is, that he might be dating currently while he is enlisting now. There's a lot of stuff that he could probably be doing, and I would imagine that this would be a very good opportunity for him to sort of live a more normal life, not have to worry about working, and spend more time doing more normal things and catching up on the normal things that he wouldn't normally be able to do. However, I don't know how much of that he is actually doing, because while he is enlisting, there is stuff that is coming out, meaning behind the scenes there's stuff that needs to be done. I think a lot of people think that entertainment is just what you see in front of the camera, but it's actually a lot of stuff behind the scenes, especially if you're the actor or the talent that's on camera. There's a lot of paperwork that needs to be done behind the scenes still as it's being released. And then there are new promotional methods or marketing methods that the company might come up with or an employee might come up with, and V would need to sign off on those things. So to think that V is just sitting there with a lot of time and he has nothing to do right now, I just don't think that that is the truth. I think there's tons of things that he needs to do. I think there's tons of things he needs to prepare for. And if he plans on releasing music right after he's done with the military, then there's tons of things for him to do right now, such as writing those songs. It just might be a lot more chill than what he normally would experience. But I don't think he would have a bunch of time to go out and meet people, just given the landscape of his life. How would he go about meeting people right now? He can't really go to parties and stuff because people will be like, aren't you supposed to be in the military? And he can't use dating apps, so how can he date? Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks for the lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.